Hey guys, good day. So, last night I had another sighting of the ET ships just near my place I'm staying, just over not too far from here. And so I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the circumstances surrounding the experience, because a lot of people ask me, like, how do you know if it's like really an ET ship? Or a lot of people like get confused with a satellite, a plane. And very often, like, they seem to like not come in completely obvious sightings. Throughout my history of sightings, maybe I've had more than 30, around 30, 20 to 30, I don't know how, I've lost count. I've had a lot of sightings between now and 2008 when I first started having the sightings. And a lot of people say, how do you know they're the ships? These are the kind of questions that come up. And so a lot of the time, it's to do with the experiences and the synchronicities surrounding the experience that kind of confirm that it was a real sighting, and it'll make more sense as I go through the rest of the video. So there was a huge amount of synchronicity involved in the sighting, and some of it I can't really talk about because it involves other people and it's personal, kind of, not majorly, but I best not talk about other people in the video. And so just as an example, I had a sighting around 5-6 years ago, something like this, in the UK, where I saw a friend 3 times in one day. I think it was maybe a Friday, something like this. I'm not sure what day of the week it was. I was working as a gardener, and first thing in the morning, I think I saw him, I don't remember the exact order, but it was something like this. First thing in the morning, I saw him in the village, in the next village to where I live, actually in the village where I live. And I just waved to him, said, hi, how you doing, out the car? I don't think I even stopped, I just drove past. And then later on that day, I saw him in the city. Like 4 or 5 miles away from where I live. I think I was staying with my parents at this time, and so I saw him in the city, and we hung out for a few minutes, had a chat, spoke for like about 10 minutes. But I had to get back to work doing my gardening job, so I left him, said see you later, and kind of got the feeling that we should hang out sometime, but I don't know, it was weird. I felt like we should hang out. I also felt like I should say bye and go. I remember it now. And so I said bye. Got to go, see you later, because that kind of felt aligned. I learned to kind of tune into my higher self and, work from a higher perspective. And then later that evening, I saw him again. I saw him for a 3rd time in one day, like back in the village. And like, this is super unusual. Like I have other friends there, not many anymore since I got into this stuff. But like anyone, like it's very rare to see, like, bump into someone. I mean, when was the last time you bumped into someone from your area where you live? Or he lived close to me. 3 times in one day, but like once in the area, once in the city 5 miles away. So I realised, so 3 times is the number for me. As you know, my name's Jonathan Trinity Martin. I could go on all day about the 3 synchronicity. I don't want to take up this video. And so I said, hey dude, like, I bumped into you 3 times. I just feel like we should do something. Like, it feels like a bit of a sign. And he's like, yeah, cool. We can hang out later. And like, so I arranged to meet him, and like about an hour later or something. And we went out and we went for a drive up into the country, place where I've been hanging out quite a bit, and we just kind of chilled out in nature a bit. And then I was like, I feel we need to go down here. And I even said to him, I feel like we might have a UFO sighting tonight. And he was kind of quite open to it at the time, and he was like, yeah, okay, whatever, we'll go down there. And so I drove down the hill a bit, about half a mile away, and we went to this little picnic area place with a couple of benches, and we were just kind of messing around. And I remember I had a torch, because it was dark by the time we got there, and I remember I had a torch in my hand, a flashlight, as you call them in America, in the US. And we call them a torch in the UK. And I was just, because I was looking at the bench, because it was pitch black, and I was looking at all this old graffiti on the bench, and I was like, hey, look at this. I reckon I might have written this many years ago. And I wasn't sure, but it's my initials. And we're just kind of mucking around, and I was telling you about my new plan to create a game called The Secret of Parrot Island, which is a synchronicity-based game, which is interesting because I've ended up living in an area which isn't really an island, but it's high up in the mountains, and there's lots of parrots around here. So I'm following the parrot trail still. Created that on this crazy game I invented, and so. Yeah, and anyway, we a few minutes later, like this kind of bluish greenish light appeared in the sky, and I flashed the light to it, and it was responding to the flashlights. And my friend got down and put both his hands on the ground, and he told me afterwards he felt like he should earth. And when he was doing this, like there was a really strong energy, a palpable like energy in the air, almost like an electric energy, and. One moment. And I asked him like 3 times, there's a 3 again, if he could feel the energy, because I knew I knew later he'd like doubt it, and I wanted to like really confirm. So I asked him 3 times, can you feel that energy? And he said yes 3 times. And then after this, he kind of denied the experience. Like we had this amazing, spectacular, energetic experience, UFO sighting. And he denied it. He didn't really want to know about it. He was like, yes, something happened, but I don't know what it was. And he didn't really want to talk about it. I guess he didn't want to be branded as a weirdo. And anyway, so that was just a story of synchronicity and how I bumped into him 3 times in the day. And so this tends to happen quite a lot around contact experiences. Just coming back to centre, don't log off. Energies go a bit crazy, I want to say balanced. And so yesterday, basically what happened, I was in a call with a client doing what I'm now labelling, I'll tell you about at the end of the call, the Contact and Awakening coaching sessions. And it was a bit crazy. I'd had a pretty good day and I felt really good, and I was really looking forward to the session. I really enjoy these sessions. And as soon as the session started, I started to feel really weird and really stressed and kind of really triggered, and my mind was going crazy, and I couldn't really center myself. And the client noticed this after about 20 minutes, and she said, like, you seem a bit sad, a bit quiet, are you okay? And I was like, and a few minutes later, I suggested we do a meditation because I needed to sort my head out. And like, there was a lot of chaos going on around me. Like the guy who works in the hotel, he was like wanting to clean everything outside my room, and like everyone was getting stressed, and like the dogs were going crazy in the client's house, and like, everything was just going really crazy. And the data ran out on the phone. I do my sessions on data because it's a higher quality connection over Zoom. And so I had to go to the shop and buy some more data, and I can't believe it went out. It was really strange how it went out. I wasn't expecting it at all. I had like 5.7 gig when I saw it in the day. It must have been like on time limit or something. It was unusual, and like everything was just going really, really crazy. I couldn't center myself at all, so that's why I suggested doing this meditation. And I kind of expanded a lot during the meditation. I remember going to a kind of state of oneness, like really expanded, and like, oh, this is cool. This is why I was going crazy, because my consciousness was expanding. And then the guy that works in the hotel, like all of a sudden starts cleaning outside my room again, and I'm like, should I tell him to like go away? I was getting like really kind of stressed, and it wasn't resonating. Like my higher self would just kind of say, no, just go with the flow, just chill out. And so this is another thing I'd like to point out, like often before these experiences, I'll get very stressed, very agitated. Like in a day or two before I have a sighting, I'll get very agitated, very stressed, very kind of hot-headed, and like everything's like irritating me, and I can't calm down, I can't relax. I'm still a little bit like it now, actually. I think it's why I was guided down the river here. It's much more. So it really opens up your energy centers and heightens your energy, and like this can not always take you into bliss. It can often 11:11 on the timer there. It can like often get you agitated. A lot of like past traumas can come up. Your mind can get very agitated. Your mind can get very negative, and like this is what was happening. And anyway, so eventually my phone battery ran out on the call. We kind of come to the end of it, and so it was a really crazy day, and like I was really stressed by this point again, because it's just noise, everything was going crazy. And so I plugged my phone in, messaged the client back and said, kind of apologised for everything going really crazy, and she was like, it's fine, like just go with it, I enjoyed the session anyway. And then I got called to go outside. And as soon as I went outside, like I looked up to the mountain, and it was very close to the spot where the Yahyel video I did from. There's a video on my YouTube channel that I videoed of the Yahyel. I was like 99% sure it's the Yahyel, now 100% pretty much, but it was the Yahyel flashing on the mountain. Like it's a video from about December, November last year, something, on my YouTube channel. It's probably titled like Yahyel lights or ET lights, ET sighting in Ollantay Tambo. It was just a black screen with this tiny little flashing, but it was that spot. But it was not on the mountain this time. I could tell because there's a cell phone antenna, a mobile phone antenna up there. It's lit up, but I could see it was just above the antenna. Like you can actually see it from here. I don't think I'm making out on the video at all. But it's just on the peak of that mountain up there. You see the peak of the mountain? There's a cell phone antenna. That's it. So they were just above that. Can I point it out? I can't find it now. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, up. Oh, it's hard doing this in reverse. There. Just the cell phone antenna there. And so they were above that, just above it. So I knew they were in the sky. Oh, I was fairly certain. I can see now it's definitely in the sky. And it was just like this faint light moving really slowly. Like it was slower than a satellite. I don't think I've ever seen a satellite moving this slowly. And it appeared to be low down. It appeared to be just over the mountain. And it was kind of in a strange place for a satellite to be. And I was fairly certain it wasn't an aeroplane. It just looked like, I've had a lot of sight. It looked a lot like the ETs. Like, and so I shouted to the guy that works in the hotel, who was prior stressing me out by making all this noise outside my room. And this is kind of the synchronicity. I can see we were kind of resonating towards each other, and we were irritating each other. I think I don't know. I think I was somehow irritating him without him realizing it from my energy. And we were kind of strongly resonating to each other. And this is why I kept getting drawn to clean the windows outside my room, wash the floor outside my room. I can see now it was all a synchronicity, and. So my mind, I was kind of wanting him to go away, so I get some peace and quiet, you know how it is. But my higher self wanted him to be there because we'd pre-arranged on a higher dimension, in a higher plane, on a soul level, to have this experience together. I can see it's part of his path too now. And he'd had an interest in this before. We talked about this before. His friends synchronistically came round while I was there, who had a sighting of some ships, because sightings are quite common around here in Peru. We're not too far from Machu Picchu. In this area, it's called the Sacred Valley. This river runs from Pisac to Machu Picchu, all along what's called the Sacred Valley. This is a valley, obviously with a river in it and a mountain. You can probably tell it's a valley. And so there's a lot of side UFO sightings here. And it's obviously part of his path as well. I can see this now. And so I shouted him out. I said, I won't say his name, but I said, come here. And he came out, and the ship disappeared as soon as he came out. And I was like, okay, because sometimes they're not meant to see it, and they'll disappear when I call other people. Like the one that hid behind the building when I was pointing it out to a guy in Lincoln City. That I talked about in my recent interview with Languages of Lights video channel. And so it disappeared, and I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe it's not meant to be, maybe he's not meant to see it. But I pointed up to the area where it was, and I was like, ovnis. They're called ovnis or ovnis, OVNI, I believe, here in the in Spanish-speaking Peru, ovnis. And I was like, ovni. I was like, lose. My poor Spanish loses lights, light, and ovnis is UFO. So I was like, lose, ovni. And we were looking up at the sky, and we talked about this before, so he knew what I was talking about. And it flashed like just above, like quite a way above, like really, like, because the slow moving light was just above the mountain, but this was significantly higher. I don't know, and it's hard to explain it in terms, but it was significantly higher, but not much higher, same area of the sky. And just a flash, a single flash, like this, and I was like, yeah, there, and he's like, yeah, I saw it, and we both got excited, and so by then it's pretty obvious that it was, I'm sure the yell, it's normally the yell like how to see in the ships. It was pretty obvious it was an ET ship, and so we saw it. So given all like the coincidences, like how he kept getting resonating to me, and we were like irritating each other, and there was more synchronicities that like the person in the call that I just got off, she's very into the ET contact path. And there were some more synchronicities that were a little bit personal that I don't want to talk about. So there's lots of synchronicities, not least him resonating towards me. And I kind of laughed because I could see that I was getting so stressed with him, and it was really like my mind was going crazy and I was getting all triggered about it. And then I could see that the reason all this was happening was because he was supposed to be there and we were resonating together, because we were supposed to have this sighting tonight, and it was all synchronous and it was all arranged on a higher level, and we were both getting stressed because we were coming into the energy, the higher consciousness of the ETs. I'm not sure whether this happens because we're feeling the higher frequencies in the future and we're connecting into the future energies, or because the ETs are kind of around us in the time before we have the experience. Probably both. That's normally how it works. And so we're both getting stressed because the contact sighting was approaching, which often happens prior to contact sightings. And yeah, and so it was really cool. So he saw the ship. I'd been wanting him to see this for a while. He had an interest in it, and I felt it was going to happen. And you hope it's all going to be bliss and just relax, and lying on deck chairs and like, hell yeah, they're here. But it happens, so it happens, doesn't it? And so I went back in, messaged my friend on the call, because we'd been talking about how the call was really crazy and everything was like kind of going wrong, and like, so I had to explain to her like that it's all making sense now. Like so I messaged her and she was really excited because she's interested in this contact path too. And yeah, and then after I'd messaged her and we talked about it a little bit, I went back outside again. I saw them again moving in a different direction, like over my head, the same very slow moving, very faint ship, and then it disappeared away. And I tried to video it, and I took a video, and it was after that sighting, and I see some flashing on the video, but I think it's just stars, estrellas as they call them here, coming in and out of focus. So I'll look at it again, but I don't think I captured anything. So that's the story, guys. Had another sighting last night, really epic. I got this feeling that they were going to come around this time of year. I've been saying in my contact courses and in videos that I feel like contact's going to pick up August, September, and then preparing us for 2023, which I've talked about a lot as a very powerful window, a very powerful potential time for extraterrestrial contact. So it seems like things are happening again after a very quiet several months of not seeing much. The ETs are back. We're shifting into a timeline. It's really powerful. It's a really good sign, this, guys, because we've been through a big shift collectively, and the fact they're showing up is a real good sign that something's going to happen big in 2023. So I was thinking, just to end the call on a humorous note, kind of humorous, kind of interesting, that how, like, I predicted that the ET ships were going to start appearing around August, September time, and they have, like, after not having any sightings for really 12 months or more. Yeah, more than 12 months, I think. I've had 2 sightings this month, and predicting, I felt that they would start coming in August. The question is, did I make the prediction? Was I psychically seeing into the future? Or did I create the reality vibrationally through the law of attraction, through believing that they would come into August? Reminds me of the scene in The Matrix with Neo in the first Matrix, when he goes to visit the Oracle, and he walks into the room and he's feeling a bit uncomfortable, and she says, "Come in and don't worry about that vase." And he's like, "What vase?" And then he turns around and knocks over a vase and breaks the vase. And he's like, "How did you know that was going to happen?" And she's like, "It's fine." I said, "Don't worry about it." And also, what's really going to bake your noodle later is, did I know you were going to break that vase? Or did you break it because I said you were going to? So on that note, on that matrix, I shall see you all in another now. Shivai. Welcome to a new paradigm. Welcome to the next level of extraterrestrial contact. And welcome to the beautiful seagull flying through the sea. Do you notice how I saw that seagull was going to fly past the camera before it came into the camera? Is that baking your noodle? See you in another now, guys. Oh, and I'm starting doing these. I promised I'd talk to you about it. I'm starting doing contact and awakening coaching sessions. So yeah, you get the idea, guys. I'll put the link to the sessions in the box below. I think they're kind of self-explanatory. I see you in another now, guys. Shivai.